Here is something that relationship researchers have documented consistently and that most people never talk about openly. When a person experiences prolonged emotional or physical disconnection, their nervous system doesn't go quiet. It actually becomes more sensitive, more attuned to signals of potential closeness, more likely to send out behavioral signals, often unconsciously, that communicate readiness for reconnection before the conscious mind has formed the words. This isn't weakness. This is the attachment system doing exactly what it was designed to do. And understanding what those signals look like and what they're actually asking for changes everything about how you show up for the person you care about. Let me describe a situation a lot of men find themselves in and feel completely unprepared for. The woman in your life has been going through something, a period of stress, of emotional distance, of life pulling her attention away from connection. Maybe it's been months, maybe longer. And somewhere in that stretch of time, the physical and emotional intimacy between you quietly faded, not because either of you stopped caring, but because life accumulated in the space where closeness used to live. Now something is shifting. You can feel it. She is behaving differently, in small, subtle ways that you sense matter but don't quite know how to read. You want to respond correctly. You want to meet her where she is without overstepping, without misreading, without making her feel like a signal to be decoded rather than a person to be genuinely seen. That desire to respond with intelligence and warmth rather than guesswork is exactly the right instinct, and what follows gives you the framework to act on it. The first signal is spatial, and it operates almost entirely below the level of conscious decision-making. Attachment theory, rooted in the foundational work of John Bowlby and expanded by Sue Johnson's emotionally focused therapy research, identifies proximity seeking as the nervous system's primary response to felt disconnection. When the attachment bond feels inactive or underserved, the system moves the body toward the attachment figure, closing physical distance as a biological first step toward reconnection. What this looks like in daily life is quieter than you might expect. She sits closer to you on the couch than she has in recent weeks. She finds reasons to be in whatever room you're in. She passes through your physical space in ways that create brief, casual contact. A hand on your shoulder as she walks by, leaning against you while you're both standing in the kitchen. None of it is announced. None of it is dramatic. But the pattern of it, the consistent, gentle gravitational pull toward your physical presence, is the nervous system doing what it does when it wants to rebuild closeness. The actionable response here is not to immediately escalate. It is to receive the proximity. Stay present when she moves near you. Don't get up. Don't redirect your attention elsewhere. Let her nervous system register that moving toward you is safe and welcome, that the distance she closes will be honored rather than ignored. Proximity received with warmth tells her attachment system something essential. He's here. Coming closer is worth it. The second signal moves from physical to verbal, and it carries significant psychological weight. Research on emotional disclosure and relationship repair consistently shows that vulnerability is the primary mechanism through which intimacy is rebuilt after periods of disconnection. Specifically, studies on dyadic disclosure, the mutual sharing of personal emotional experience between partners, show that the partner who initiates disclosure is, neurologically speaking, testing the safety of the emotional environment before investing more fully in reconnection. She might bring up something personal while you're doing something completely mundane, cooking, driving, folding laundry, a memory, a feeling she's been carrying, something about her day that goes slightly deeper than the surface. It might sound like small talk. It isn't. It is her emotional system extending an invitation, sending out a signal to see whether genuine, unhurried conversation is currently available from you. The worst response is distraction. The phone, the television, the half-present that communicates you heard her words but not her meaning. The right response is to stop what you're doing, even briefly, and turn toward her. Make eye contact. Ask a real follow-up question. Let her feel that what she just offered landed somewhere that mattered. That quality of being genuinely received in a vulnerable moment releases oxytocin, the same bonding neurochemical activated by physical touch, and begins rebuilding the emotional safety that intimacy requires. This signal is subtle enough that many men miss it entirely, but it is one of the most revealing indicators of reawakening desire. Evolutionary psychology and self-presentation research both document the same phenomenon. When attraction and desire reactivate toward a specific person, self-awareness around that person increases. The individual becomes more conscious of how they appear, how they smell, how they move in that person's presence, not out of vanity, out of the biological impulse to be found appealing by someone who specifically matters. She might start getting dressed more intentionally when she knows you'll be around. She might wear something you've complimented before. She might be more conscious of her physical presentation in your shared spaces in ways that weren't present during the disconnected period. What she is doing, unconsciously, in most cases, is signaling availability, not explicitly, not demandingly, but through the quiet, ancient language of making herself visible to you in a new way. The response that honors this signal is genuine, specific noticing, not a generic compliment, but something observed. "You look really beautiful tonight," said with eye contact, said like you mean it, because you do. Being seen in the effort she's making, having it acknowledged without pressure or expectation, tells her something critical. He notices me. I am still someone he finds worth noticing. The fourth signal is physical, but deliberately, specifically non-sexual. And understanding why that distinction matters is the key to responding correctly. Somatic psychology research on touch and intimacy repair identifies non-sexual physical contact as the rebuilding phase of physical reconnection. Before a person who has experienced prolonged disconnection is ready for sexual intimacy, the nervous system typically needs to reestablish safety and warmth through lower stakes physical contact first. Hand-holding, leaning into you, resting her head on your shoulder, reaching for your hand while watching something together. These contacts are not preliminary moves toward something else. They are complete and significant in themselves, the nervous system's way of relearning that physical closeness with you is safe, warm, and worth wanting. When she initiates these moments, the most connecting response is full, unhurried reciprocity. Hold her hand like it matters. Keep your arm around her without restlessness. Let the contact last. Reciprocated non-sexual warmth rebuilds the physical trust that deeper intimacy requires, and it cannot be skipped or rushed without cost to the connection you're both rebuilding. What all four of these signals share is this: they are a person finding her way back toward you. Carefully, hopefully, in the only ways currently available to her. She is not making grand declarations. She is moving closer on the couch, starting conversations in the kitchen, getting dressed like you're worth getting dressed for, reaching for your hand in the dark. These are not small things. These are the beginning of something being rebuilt, and they deserve to be received with the full, warm, intelligent presence of someone who understands what they're actually being offered. You don't need to respond perfectly. You need to respond genuinely, to notice, to stay, to meet her where she is without rushing her past it. That quality of being truly met, seen, and received without pressure is what reconnection actually feels like from the inside. If this kind of honest, research-grounded conversation about intimacy and connection speaks to you, subscribe. Every week we go this deep into the psychology and neuroscience of what it means to genuinely show up for the people who matter most. See you in the next one.